Why, hello there, friends, and welcome back to the channel if you're new around these parts. Hello, thank you so much for clicking. In today's video, I'm doing another memory plan with me for the week of August 21st. I'm so ready to be done with August, y'all. Like, August is my least favorite month. I think it might be my least favorite month to plan. It's just my least favorite month in life. But I feel like it might be my least favorite month to plan. I feel like I have been changing my mind the most during this month. Not knowing if I want to keep going with summer, not knowing if I want to start fall, not knowing if I want to do any time, like just being lost in August. And I feel like that is the motto for August in my life, generally speaking. So I'm just ready to be done with August. We're almost there. We're memory planning the week of August 21st. So we're almost there, right? Yes. Anyways, we are using this gorgeous kit from Caress Press. It is Breakfast Dreams. It is art by the incomparable Darcy DeBeau. So you already know I'm obsessed, as per usual. Although I will say, this is one of my favorite Darcy art sets of ever because I love breakfast and I love the colors. Like I love that like bold yellow. Like almost like gold yellow. It's just amazing. I just love it so much with these other colors. I love the art and I love breakfast. I love breakfast. My favorite meal of the day, the most important meal of the day. It's just greatness all around. I just paired it with a plain old confetti foil bundle from Scribble Prints Co. in holo. Nothing too crazy there. I feel like these days with all the funderlays I have going on and the layering I have going on in the next couple months, that I think my October kit lineup went live today. So you guys should have already seen that video. If you didn't, I'll try to remember to link it up in the cards. But between that and all the like funderlays I'm using for September, this just seems so standard. And I mean that in a good way. Like, it's kind of nice to just have a confetti foil bundle to set things off. So yeah, anything else on the nitty gritty? Oh, I also pulled in some quote box overlays from, I think, Planner Pixie Co. They're coffee themed quote box overlays. And I'm so excited that I got to bring them in, y'all, because it is so hard to use them. Like I have a few of them, I feel like, but I haven't used my coffee kits yet. And I have a few coffee kits because they're anytime kits. And y'all know sometimes it's hard to figure out when to use anytime kits because they're anytime. And because we're extra and we want like to use kits when things happen. Some of us, not all of us, but we want to use kits when like things related to said kit themes happen instead of just being easy. And just using things for the sake of using them. But alas, that's the end of that spiel. This week had some good and some not so good. The reason I'm actually using this kit is because this was the week that my boss took me out to brunch to celebrate my promotion, which I think was so very sweet. She is so very sweet, and I'm so lucky. And it was so great. It was at my favorite place, y'all, and it was delicious as per usual. And it was just such a sweet touch of her. Such a sweet touch for her to do it, I guess is what I was trying to say. But I'm just very grateful. So this was, I thought, a good week to use this kit. And I was actually going to use the Scribble Prints Co. I think it was the September mystery, that like diner themed one, but the colors of that one really leaned a little bit more spring. Honestly, this one I could have easily used in spring too, but I don't know, that yellow gave it a little bit, and like the greens in it for me gave it a little bit more of a summery tone. So I decided to go with this one, and this one's been in my collection longer too. So anyways, that's a very long-winded response to a question that no one asked, which was why I'm using this kit. But alas, I did want to start off the video by saying thank you because my last plan with me got so much love. I got DMs, I got, of course, comments, I got shares. So many of you just showed that video so much love, and I really appreciate you for that. I was very apprehensive about posting the video, to be honest with you. I thought about just scrapping the whole thing. Like, I wasn't even going to post the plan with me because I didn't have it in me to do another voiceover for it. So I was like, nope, not doing it. But I'm so glad that I went with my gut and decided to post it, because it's nice to know that other people are feeling the same way. And it's nice to voice those sentiments too sometimes. So I appreciate all of you. I still have to get back to your comments. I've read all of them. I haven't answered all of them though. So I am going to do that soon. Hopefully by the time you guys are seeing this video, that has happened already. And if it hasn't, shame on me. But I did want to address a comment that I got, which I don't think the comment was made with malintent. But I do think that it's important to address it, because for that one comment, I feel like there's 10, 15 other people thinking the same thing. And I want to make sure that we're clear. So, by the way, if you haven't seen my last plan with me, I highly recommend you hop over there and check it out so you know what the hell I'm talking about. But the very short version is that I was discussing inclusion beyond fashion people in kits within the planner community, basically. That's the gist. If you want specifics, head on over to that video. I'll try to remember to pop it in a card somewhere during this video. But I had someone who commented, why don't you create a Beyonce kit, right? You created a Black Panther kit. It was amazing. And, if these other shop owners are creating things around their personal interests, or products around their personal interests, why don't you create, products around your personal interests? So my response to that, in theory, yes, I could create a Beyonce kit. Practically, it's not quite as easy as just creating a Beyonce kit. There's a lot of different components, right? If I want to create any kit, really. But if I want to create a Beyonce kit, it's going to be one custom art, so it's going to be more expensive. By the way, for those of you who are not shop owners, just find your favorite clip art artists and ask them, just for grins, just ask them what they charge for exclusive art. If you want to just get an idea, just ask them what they charge. And I'm not saying they shouldn't charge what they charge. We pay, obviously, for the talent, the skill, the time, the effort that it takes them to create these masterpieces that we get to use in our planners. So this is not a knock on what they charge. It's just a fact. So I do it and then get back to me. But first I would need to find an artist who's willing to take on that project. Not a whole lot of artists are doing custom art, right? Because a lot of them are busy with custom art or regular releases. As we know, a lot of shops, especially bigger shops, use particular artists, especially in regards to mysteries. So you need to find an available artist, and then you need to pay that artist to create that art. So there's some barriers. So it's not quite as easy as just create your own kit. But let's just say in theory that I create my own kit. And I put it out there. It's not really going to address the bigger issue that I was actually referring to in that conversation, which was the issue of inclusion, of creating kits around themes that cater to different types of people. That was the whole point of that conversation. And while I can go ahead and, release a Beyonce kit in theory, that doesn't really necessarily push the needle forward in regards to a conversation about inclusion. Here's the thing. When I get a question, or, a question, it was a question, why don't you create a Beyonce kit? When I get that question, kind of the saying that comes to mind when I hear that is, well, why don't you, if you don't have a seat at the table, we've all heard this saying, if you don't have a seat at the table, create your own table, right? Well, I did that. I wasn't seeing what I wanted to see within the community, so I said, I'm going to create a shop to hopefully create a little bit more of what I'd like to see in the community. I've done that. I've created my own table. Here's the thing. I can go ahead and chop down the wood and create a table, but if I'm the only one sitting at the table, nothing's happening. Because any type of change, if we're talking about some type of systemic change or big change, I'm not talking about individual changes, because you're in control of that. But any type of like systemic change, change within a community, that's only going to happen with multiple people at the table. I can't be at the table alone. It's just not going to happen. I could be at the table and it could be the highest quality table and I could be saying and doing all the right things. But if I'm still alone at the table, that message is not moving forward. So that means that other people need to be seated at the table. And the problem that we're having is that the people that should be at the table don't come to the table. They don't come to the table at all. They don't even bother to care if the table exists. Right. So then people like, this conversation of inclusion or representation or whatever the conversation that comes up, it comes up again and again, and people roll their eyes and say, why are we talking about this again? Because I know there are people out there that do that. Please, y'all. I ain't over here in the woods. Right. Oh, here we go again. This again. We're talking about this again. Well, we keep talking about it because nothing changes, and nothing changes because the people that need to watch the video, the people that need to have the conversations, the people that need to be at the table just make zero effort to be at the table. So, if we ever want to move the needle forward in this conversation, that means that shop owners, especially bigger shop owners, have to be more intentional about what they put out. That's the only way we're going to move the conversation forward. Bigger artists need to be more intentional about what they put out. That's the only way we're going to move the conversation forward. If, and I say if bold and italicized, if we want to move the needle forward on this conversation, there are people that very much do not. They're out there, don't care. That's cool. Like, that's fine. I mean, it's sad for me. It's a shame, in my opinion. But let's just say that you don't care. That's cool. But you need to own that. You need to own that you don't care. Which means that you can't performatively sit at the table. Like, if you're gonna share the stories and post the posts, you have to actively sit sit at the table. And let me tell you, the chair is going to be uncomfortable. The chair is going to be uncomfortable AF for you, but you gotta sit at it. So I'll leave y'all with that. I don't plan on continuing this discussion in the next video unless you guys want me to touch on something else. But also, aside from thanking all of you who just gave the video so much positive feedback, or any feedback really, because I welcome it all, because I think that's how we have discussions, by welcoming all the feedback. But I also want to thank those of you who are already doing that, who are already listening, who are already doing things that I think are inclusive, because I know that we're out there. It's just that our voices are not heard quite as loudly as others. So I appreciate y'all. I see y'all. And I don't take it for granted. Trust me, I do not. I do not take it for granted. But yeah. All right, y'all. Let's see if we can actually talk about what happened this week. Because now I'm just on I'm in my social justice kick. I need to take off the hat. I need to take off the hat and just get back to my week. Get back to planning. And the things I normally talk about. But I always welcome y'all to comment down below if there are things you want to share, questions that you have, things you want me to touch on. I'm actually always open to topics that you guys want me to discuss in Plan With Me's. It's just that I usually post on Instagram And y'all are like, I don't know. Probably because you're like, I don't know what I would talk about if I were doing these, which is fair. But if there are things you want me to talk about, for the most part, I don't really care. I will talk about most things. So if there are topics you want me to talk about during any given plan with me, let me know. I might post another story at some point in the next couple weeks when things maybe slow down. Do y'all ever feel like it's like, okay, I just got to get through these like next couple weeks and things are going to slow down. But then you keep saying that for the rest of your life because that's how I be feeling. But yeah, let me actually go through this week. So on Monday, I know that was the day that we actually went to brunch. I got this really good scramble. It's like eggs. It's like scrambled eggs, cheese, broccoli, and I'm missing something. Bacon. The most important thing. And it was so good, you guys. And I have to trick myself into eating more things that are green, basically, because if not, I'll just sit here living my best life with Uber Eats and DoorDash, and not particularly healthy things on Uber Eats and DoorDash. So, yeah, it was a great time. And this was the week that we kind of started to transition back into the office. So yeah, it was nice. And I don't know that anything else of note happened on Monday, because like, what's going to top brunch on a work day? I just don't think much is. But it was nice to see everyone, because this was the first week really like back in person in the office. So it was nice to see everyone and catch up and whatnot. And then I was trying to wrap my head around this new role and like what it means and how it changes what I do every day. So I'm still technically trying to wrap my head around that. So it'll be a minute, but I think it's going well so far, which is good. And then, oh, you guys, okay, I don't have a lot of time. I have to tell you these two stories for this week. So on Wednesday, I was remote and I went to get my nails done because they were in dire need. Actually, they're the nails that you're seeing now, I think. That's how long ago this was. I have new nails right now as I'm doing this voiceover. My nail tech, you guys, and if you've been following the journey, you know that I've just kind of gotten into this shop because my other one just abruptly closed on me. My nail tech was absolutely beautiful. Like, oh my God. Y'all, let me tell you, when you've been in a long-term relationship, it's like very rare that you do any type of double take, right? Because you're with your person. You're happy with your person. You're not blind, but you're happy with your person. So you really don't like pay attention to those things as much as you might do like when you're single. I don't know if y'all know what I mean, but I don't care, right? Y'all, my nail tech was fine. When I tell you this man was fine, the last place I expected to find a man that is that fine was in a nail salon. And like, I don't know about y'all, but when I go there, like, I'm wearing leggings, my hair is looking questionable. Like, I'm not putting in a whole lot of effort to go to the nail salon because I'm really not expecting to see no one that needs to see me look any better than that. So I go in and the girl's like, oh, hey, what are you doing? So I let her know. And then I think she's the one that's going to take care of me. She's like, oh yeah, sit here, blah, blah, blah. And then this dude walks over and I'm like, excuse me, sir. What? You are going to be touching me, right? This is bad. This is criminal. Sound the alarms, folks. Sound the alarms. It was a full problem. I was like, I need to get done with this fast. Of course, it's not fast because I did a pedicure and a manicure. I was like, ooh, this is a problem. So, of course, it was fine. Obviously, I got my nails done or whatever. But afterwards, I called my best friend and I was like, child, if you would have seen my gay best friend, for clarification, I was like, child, if you would have seen this man, let me tell you. Ooh, y'all, I can't. I'm too old for this. So that was Wednesday. And then actually both of my stories are from Wednesday. So that was like the good part of Wednesday. And then the bad part of Wednesday is we have this like tree in our backyard that's grown. It's a little tree. It's not like a massive tree, but it's grown enough to kind of be like not covering, but getting into our like back little porch, like our little back deck. We have like a tiny back deck, and it has some type of flower on it. Don't ask me which one, y'all. I'm not a floral girl. I don't know. I might have to check with Gabrielle Plans on this, but it has some type of flower that attracts bees a lot, and flies a lot. So especially with the summer months. So especially in August, it feels like I would go out there and it would just be like bee central, fly central. And I'm like, this is nice. But like, although it's very close to our back deck, still I didn't feel like it'd be an issue like going in and out of our back door, which is of course on our back deck. And our cars are parked in the back. So that's why we go out that way. Well, one of these days, this Wednesday actually, I kept going in and out because I had like errands to run and I was doing all sorts of things that day. It was just a busy day. So I kept going in and out of the house. Tell me why, y'all. That night, there must have been like 5 flies in my house and I was having a full breakdown. Like I cannot deal with bugs at all. But flies gross me out. Like, it's not even that I'm scared of them. They just really gross me out. And at first, like, we saw like 2 of them and I was like, all right, we're getting rid of them. Like, I was on mission, get rid of the flies. But then after finally getting rid of them, which is not easy because they fly, freaking hoes. I found like 3 more. I was having a full breakdown. I'm like, oh my God, like, do we have like a fly infestation? Like, what the F is happening right now? Like, Bae had to literally talk me down because I was on one. Like, these flies were really messing with my mood. So he had to talk me off the cliff, basically. But y'all, I still to this day do not know what happened. We do not have a fly infestation. Spoiler alert, we're good. It was just that one off day. I think it was just because we went in and out so much and we still have the tree issue. Like it still overhangs and I want to get it trimmed, which we're working on that part. But now that it's colder, like it is cold in the morning now where I am. It's very cold in the morning. Like this morning I was freezing. Of course, they're not on that tree as much, so it's less of an issue, but I still want to get it trimmed. But it was a whole ordeal. Like I was having a full moment, you know, when you know that you're overreacting, but you can't stop it. Like logic goes out the window. You just need to have your damn moment. That's the moment I was having. Had y'all been there, it might have been comical for y'all because you would swear those flies were going to eat me alive. But you know, we take the good with the bad. So Wednesday had a very bright spot and a very dark spot. And that, I think, was there anything else? I think this was was this orientation week? No, this was not orientation week. That's next week. Ugh, I'm telling you, freaking August stresses me out and it's over. It's over and I'm just back planning and I'm stressed looking at it. But yeah, we did that. And then on the weekend, we went to, for all intents and purposes, my mother-in-law's barbecue. She had a barbecue at her place. So we went and got some amazing food. Like, ooh, Latina women. Actually, just Latinos, just Latinx folk. Some of us really throw down in the kitchen and his mom is one of them. So I was living my best life. When I tell you I only went for the food, because I do not go outside, y'all. I don't be going outside. I'm introvert through and through. So when I tell you I literally was like, okay, we could do this for the food. I will people for the food. I will socialize for the food. And it did not disappoint. It was amazing. And we brought leftovers. And it was funny because like Bae was taking the leftovers, like fixing us a plate or whatever. And he just kept going because again, there's like no concept. He just kept putting things in and his mom had to be like, yo, bro, like there's other people here that are going to take things home. You need to stop. And he's like, oh, my bad. Y'all, listen, you don't get that food all the time. So when we get it, we like to take advantage. But it was a good time. and we love the food. And that was like the last really like summery thing we did, I feel like. So yeah, y'all, I think that's it. I don't feel like there was anything else happening. Where are we at? I think we're at the end of Sunday. Yeah, I think that's it. Real time. I am dealing with some nerve pain again. It like always flares, and it's in a flare, and I'm like, this is really not the best time for you to be in a flare because I have to walk a lot soon. I've been walking a lot lately, but that's a whole nother story that we'll talk about in a future plan with me. But that is everything, you guys. That is my breakfast dream spread. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to those of you who are doing the things and who lift the voices who need to be lifted. I appreciate y'all, and I see y'all. And yeah, here I am flipping through the remains. Love how this spread turned out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.